of must be updated, but the cornerstones of multilateralism cannot be put in question, as they are also the cornerstones of peace and freedom. Let us not feed the false metaphor of a world divided, the West against the rest. The unshakable unity in the face of the growing threat to international peace and stability goes well beyond the Western interest. It is a common interest. And this is, I believe, a key message that could emerge from the Indian G20 presidency, as well as from the Raisina Dialogue. A message of hope, a message of unity. Every nation can be a lighthouse. With the wealth and pride of its tradition and identity, which somebody would like to forget or hide or kick. But we are nothing without our roots, our rights, and the capability we have to recognize them. They depend from our tradition. And who wants to kick our tradition, our identity, wants to kick our rights. So it's an important struggle that we are facing all over the world. And I know that on this, we do agree the same point of view. Lighthouses do not obscure each other, but they can shine together and help all of us to navigate in these troubled waters. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that inspirational speech. May I now request the Indian External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, to propose a vote of thanks.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, my distinguished foreign ministerial colleagues, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I think you have heard both from the keynote speaker and the two speakers before her about the state of the world. And that state of the world is captured obviously by the theme of this conference. But it's up to each one of us to see whether we put the focus on the tempest or the lighthouse. I think a lot of us, certainly in India, we can see the lighthouse shine quite brightly. We believe that for all the challenges in the world, there is the leadership, there is a vision, there are solutions, and much of that today forms the agenda of the G20. So it's my honor today to propose a vote of thanks. I particularly thank Prime Minister Meloni for joining us this evening. I thank the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji, for keeping his word year after year of being here. And to all of you, I wish you a very, very productive conference over the next few days. Thank you very much.
I will now request all of you to remain seated as the Honorable Prime Minister and the President of the Council of Ministers leave this room. I will also request orderly exit from this room thereafter, but first let our VIPs and chief guests leave the room.
Thank you so much. If I could request everyone to please remain seated. Please remain seated while the Prime Minister goes into the Wazir room. Could I request the room?
सीधा प्रसारण आप देख रहे थे रायसीना डायलॉग के, जहां पर के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने रायसीना संवाद 2023 का उद्घाटन किया और इटली की प्रधानमंत्री जियोर्जियो मेलोनी, जो कि मुख्य अतिथि हैं इस बार की रायसीना डायलॉग 2023 की, उन्होंने संबोधित किया। तो ये रायसीना डायलॉग 2023 की शुरुआत हो
value chain, which somebody would like
to serve two functions. First, to prevent future wars by balancing competing interests. Second, to foster common interests. The experience of
We'll just take a few moments so that all of us can settle down. Thank you. The smiles on your faces and the roaring applause tells us that we have done something right. So thank you to each and every one of you for being a part of this journey. And with that, we'll begin with the formal proceedings of the inauguration of Tea-Works. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming on stage Mr. Sujay Karampuri, CEO, Tea-Works and Tea Fiber, the man who has spearheaded the entire initiative. He's also the Director of Electronics State of Telangana. I invite him on stage and request the man who has spearheaded the entire initiative. He's also the Director of Electronics State of Telangana. I invite him on stage and request him to share a little bit about Tea-Works with all of us.
Thank you, everyone. Uh, I. This is a great day for me. Pretty much what I was saying is that my job was done this lunch, and this for me now is just a dessert. So, but having said that, for my team, this has been a great journey. The team put together everything. They went into the detail of the architecture, the design, everything that you see on the floor, the labeling, everything. All the detailing is done by the team. It's a very nice design engineering team we have at Tea-Works. Actually, I think I have a small presentation to make to try to say what I wanted to say. If you can. So, coming to Tea-Works, this is something that I wanted you to look at. On the top, you will see a plow. You know, in Telugu we call it Nagali. And if you see the top, you will see the Nagali across the centuries in India. And the last one is a plow from the recent times in India. And it pretty much looks the same. But below, you will see how it is maybe in a modern world or a developed world like Europe. And it changed quite a bit across the centuries. Now, the question that why in some parts of the world the plow remains the same, and in some other parts of the world the plow changes so much. And the key, what we believe, is the word collaborate. So, when a farmer meets a blacksmith, meets a carpenter, that's when they come and make a better product. But in some societies, very stratified, where they don't meet each other, the rich doesn't meet the poor, the carpenter doesn't meet the farmer, that's when the products remain the same way. So we see that, and therefore at Tea-Works, our mantra is collaborate, collaborate, collaborate. We say it 3 times because we believe that that word is so important that we say it 3 times. So in this world, at this point of time, the collaboration is required across many other domains. Between rich and poor, of course, between the carpenter and the farmer and the blacksmith, but also across a mechanical engineer and a software engineer, between a ceramics engineer and a chemical engineer, between a hardware guy and a software guy, an IoT meeting a smart manufacturing. This is the collaboration that is required. And we created this architecture, and the thesis or the ethos of this particular building is to make that collaboration happen. So if you see every element of this, the foyer, the atrium, this allows for that collaboration, and we instill this again and again. And we believe that is one of the fundamental principles that we try to infuse at Tea-Works. Now, here is one more message that we believe in, and this message is not only applicable to us, but outside, and I want to talk about it. Many times we think that we can skip something. Yes, in